you follow this channel, you may recall that I've been doing a number of tune-up items on my 2017 Honda Accord, which is fast approaching 100,000 miles. And honestly, this car now moves exactly like how I first got it. Today I'll be sharing what I've done to date, plus what's still pending, just in case that helps you think through your approach to optimizing the performance on your car. I'll also welcome thoughts on what else you think I should add to the list. Now let's get this. While I didn't do any 0 to 60 times or get this car on a dyno before and after, I think it's fair to say that we all can notice when your daily driver does have delayed throttle response. And I can say that that's what I was having, but with all that I've done so far, I now find myself with a green while driving. Acceleration and pickup on this car is way better, just like when I got the car. And to date, here are the list of things that I've done as part of this tune-up. First thing was to thoroughly clean the throttle body. While I do clean the throttle body on the car once a year, I use this major tune-up opportunity to clean it off the car just so I could get to that dirty backside. Important thing here is to be sure you use throttle body cleaner so that you don't strip away any protective coatings on the throttle body. I like this CRC cleaner because it specifically states that it won't remove any coatings on the throttle body. And since cleaning, check out the throttle response. The target throttle is the degree of opening of the butterfly valve commanded by the ECM, while the absolute throttle is the actual response of the butterfly valve as a result of this command. You can see that there's good synchrony between the two PIDs. If you do this test and the correlation isn't quick or there's significant discrepancy, that's an indication that it's time to clean your throttle body. Note that it's okay for the absolute throttle to have a tiny lag behind the target throttle, and that's just because of the milliseconds that it takes from the time the command is issued to the throttle body physically moving the butterfly valve. The second thing I did was to clean the intake valves on this GDI engine, and they went from looking like this to this. Even if you can't afford walnut blasting, the video I did shows what to expect, both using the drill and brush method versus walnut blasting. I was still able to get very good results using the drill. Just to note here that if your car is port injection, you don't necessarily need to bother about intake valve cleaning since the fuel washes over the back of the intake valves, and that prevents carbon buildup. By the way, the goal this month is to get to 100,000 subscribers, so do click that button if you love what I'm doing here. Another thing I did was to replace the spark plugs on this car, and I went with an upgrade to ruthenium, mainly because they were cheaper at the time, but they also offer very good ignitability over iridium, which is what I'm swapping out of the car. Just looking at the old and the new, you can clearly see that the ground electrode in the old one has worn down. You can also notice that the tip of the ground electrode is now rounded, and that affects the quality of the spark that any spark plug is able to generate. And so it was a good call changing this before the 110k that Honda calls for. The fourth thing I did was to run Redline S1 complete fuel system cleaner in the tank, and in that time the fuel injectors went from looking like this to this, cleaning away all that carbon and deposits on the tip of the injectors. After the first tank of Redline S1, I also went ahead to add a second bottle just to see if I can achieve more cleaning on the top of the pistons. That will be the subject of another video that will be coming soon. Now, because I did all these 4 items back to back, I can't really say for sure which one is responsible for the improved response that I'm getting. The last time I had this kind of improvement in throttle response was when I used BG44K Platinum. Maybe it's the cleaning of the injectors, or each of these items contributed to it, with the Redline S1 being a key factor. I'm still monitoring the MPG to see if I'd notice any gain. Given all the traffic in my usual routes, current MPG sits at 25.3. The fuel I have in the car currently doesn't have any additives. This second record was when I had the Redline S1 in back-to-back fuel tanks. So for now, I can't say anything definitive on MPG. I still plan to remove the direct injectors on this car and clean them in my ultrasonic cleaner. I'll use that opportunity to change the micro filters just in case there's some remaining partial clogging. I couldn't do that when I took off the intake manifold to clean the intake valves just because I didn't have this high pressure hose, which Honda recommends that you should replace anytime you go into the high pressure fuel line. I also have a small exhaust leak in the flex pipe which I have to fix. You can see that bubbling away. O2 sensors may get replaced since they generally have a lifespan of between 60,000 to 100,000 miles. They tend to first get lazy and rob you of precious gas mileage before ever throwing a code. Checking and adjusting valve clearance if necessary is also on the list. Cleaning the MAF sensor and replacing the air filter are regulars for me, so I'm skipping that this time. In case you're interested in any of the items or tools mentioned, links will be down below. Be sure to leave a comment to let me know what else you think I should add to the list. Feel free to check out the dedicated videos that I made on any of the tune-up items I've done already, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace!